Shine bright up all night, we're never slowing down. Fall in love, drunk mistakes, we're bound to hit the ground. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. And we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. Young blood made of gold, a mind you can't control. Running wild, can't come down. My head is in the clouds. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. And we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. Shine bright up all night, we're never slowing down. Fall in love, drunk mistakes, we're bound to hit the ground. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sun. On the day we are together again. On the day we are together again. I will pull you in close like a hoop with no end. On the day we are together again. We will share the same table again. We will share the same table again. I will pass you the salt, the candlelight will bend when we share the same table again. We will walk around the block hand in hand. We will walk around the block hand in hand. We will stop for a snack at the taco truck stand when we walk around the block hand in hand. Someday we will go back to work. Someday we will go back to work. May we be among people who respect our I will write you a letter for now. I will help the strangers I meet. I will help the strangers I meet. It is possible to get back on our feet. I will help the strangers I meet. To the healers who keep us alive. To the healers who keep us alive. A toast to your courage, knowledge and light. To the healers who keep us alive. And the ones we love who are gone. And the ones we love who are gone. We remember the stories and we sing the songs for the ones we love who are gone. And on the day we are together.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your time. Today is February 25th, 2024, the shortest month of all year. Couple more days left this month and we will be in March. March, it's crazy. We're getting ready to be in our third month of 2024. Feels like it, I don't know, just it's going by really, really quickly. Want to thank you guys for joining me today. You could have chosen to be anywhere, but you chose to be here, and I am thankful for each of you. We are going to be talking about Audrii Cunningham case today. There has been a statement from the family that has been released, and I thought we could go over that. There's also an article that, oh, this is a leap year. Oh, wow. I didn't know that, Bob. Thank you. Dre, thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate, really, really do appreciate you. It means a lot. Thank you so much, my beautiful friend. Uh, Thank you for the support. Let me find my button here. Oops, wrong one. Wrong. Thank you, sweet Dre. Appreciate you. Thank you, my dear. Um, yes, yeah, we are family on this channel. We absolutely are, for sure. Okay, so there's a quite it's a full page of a statement that is came out. Uh, one second. Thank you so much. So we're going to be covering that, and there is an interesting interview article about how the system, failed Audrii, which I'm sure that this is going to be visited. I'm sure that it's going to be visited, revisited, or visited. So we'll wait for that. And then Tim Coop with Equisearch, founder of Equisearch, just a great person. He was on the Nancy Grace show. I want to do some commentary on that. It is rough. If you are sensitive to, you know, topics like this, it's really tough. I'm just going to say that. But the thing about it is people need to know how evil, if we you know, sugarcoat. That's what I like about Nancy Grace, to be honest with you, is she does not sugarcoat it. She tells it how, and she makes it vivid on how evil people like Stephen McDougal is. More evil than we can ever, someone that takes an 11-year-old baby. She's very blunt. And sometimes you have to say things bluntly to get people to understand, to think at it in a deeper perspective. You know, oh, he looks very evil. It's not that he looks, he is evil. He absolutely is evil. So, without further ado, let's get started on this new statement that has been dropped. I'm going to read it. Oops. Okay. So, let me make myself a little smaller. Well, you know what I'll do? One second. Guys, if you haven't yet already, if you haven't hit that thumbs up button, please hit that thumbs up button. It is a way that we get the word spread for these cases. All right, so this is a press release, and here we go. Press release 1 week ago of Thursday, the 15th of February, 2024, Audrii Danielle Cunningham was lured under false pretenses, which led to a senseless act of violence occurring and ultimately to her death. Tragically, Audrii's death occurred at the hands of a monster we thought was a friend. Only 10 days after Audrii's 11th birthday. Did you know that? 10 days after her 11th birthday. She was barely 11. She was barely 11 years old. Yeah, unapproachable light. If you are sensitive to these type of details when we go there, you probably should not watch, honestly. I don't want you to, some people, it just, I understand. Trust me. You know what I mean? And I completely understand, honey. Audrii Cunningham was a charismatic, beautiful, talented, and kind young lady. She loved singing, dancing, reading, and painting. She was even learning the skills of a tattoo artist. Most of all, caring for and playing with animals was her passion. Audrii's aspirations were to become a veterinarian or an animal trainer. Every day, Audrii was out caring for her pets and walking our dogs. She would even walk the dogs of the neighbors in the subdivision. She touched so many lives and filled them with joy and happiness that was infectious. She had so much energy and brought a passion to everything she did. Audrii will be missed by a great many people. The Munch and Cunningham families are devastated and grieved for what happened to our little ray of sunshine, Audrii. We were being attacked and criticized on social media platforms for showing compassion and mercy to this formerly incarcerated person, but our interactions with this person were a result of our faith, which teaches us to give our fellow man a second chance. Now, I will be honest with you. That little paragraph right there has bothered people. I've gotten a lot of emails over that paragraph. Um, so I'll let you guys, judge that how you will. Unfortunately, the system failed us due to a loophole in the offender registration system. Don Stephen McDougal had a history of disrespect for young female children, but it did not show up when we checked the registry before allowing him to stay in an old camper in our backyard while he tried to start a new life. He had been aware of what we know now. This man would have never stepped foot on our property, much less be a part in our little girl's life. Now, they claim that they checked the offender registry. Did they check his background? Or did they just go to and see if he was an offender? And if he, you know, I'm trying to be respectful here. Yeah, thank you so much for 4 months. I appreciate you, dear. Kelly, thank you so much. I appreciate you, my love. Thank you. Appreciate you both. Thank you. Um, it feels, I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure if I believe that. Cotton Candy, thank you so much for 7 months, my love. You're an OG. Thank you, love. Appreciate you. But they say they did. But why didn't they? Did they do a background check? Because that would have said something, right? Don't you think? Thank you so much, Gene. I appreciate you, my love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Here. Thank you, my sweetheart. Appreciate you. It's very kind of you. Did grandma go on vacation with him too? That's what I was going to say, Chris. It appears that she was going with him to the beach. In my opinion, it feels like grandma had more than him in the backyard of the camper. You know what I mean? Do we have a list in Canada of RSOs? Thank you, Dispatch Crystal. Good to see you, honey. I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you so much. It's very sweet of you. Thank you, my love. Appreciate you. Quinny, thank you for 7. Though written well, they didn't write this. That is true. But I'm sure that they approved it, right? And I'm sure that this is what they wanted to say, and someone written it for them, I'm sure. Amy, thank you so much, my love. I call BS. Had they looked, they would have known. Yeah. I agree. I think they would have. On a background check, absolutely. And it's a small it's a small area, right? It's a small area, and everyone knows everybody there. Everyone knows everybody there. So I'm not buying the grandma and dad stuff, to be quite honest with you. I'm not buying it. We wish to acknowledge and thank the Polk County Sheriff's Office, the Livingston Police Department, the state, the Texas State Troopers, the Texas Rangers, the Texas State Guard, the Trinity River Authority, the FBI, and nearby county sheriff's departments, as well as thousands of volunteers, our local VFW post, and the public for helping to search for and ultimately find the body of Audrii. We also wish to thank the nonprofit organization Texas EquiSearch for their tireless efforts that ultimately led to the discovery of and recovery of Audrii's body from the water of the Trinity River. This was a hardworking, multi jurisdictional effort that spent long hours in order to bring our angel Audrii home to us and bring the monster to justice. Now, I do want to say I do have a link provided in the description today for if anybody wants to donate to Texas EquiSearch. There, the link is in the description, and their website looks like this: texasequisearch.org. You can make that texasequisearch.org / make a donation. Even if you can donate $2, $5, it all helps tremendously. So, link is provided in the description. Not only are they the best of the best, in my opinion, but this has affected, the founder of Texas EquiSearch, who we're going to listen to here shortly, has lost his daughter. And that is why he did that. Thank you so much, Virginia Girl, gifting 5 memberships. Wow. Thank you so much, guys. If you was one of the 5 that received a membership, give our Virginia Girl a big thank you. It's very generous of you, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you. Very, very generous. Yeah. Tim Miller he's just a phenomenal person. All right. Where were we? We also wish to acknowledge and thank the members of the press who helped spread the word when the Amber Alert went out and quickly pulled our community together, and that the common goal of bringing our little girl back home safe and sound. This coverage was considered invaluable to help focus attention and gather valuable leads that help the search efforts. We were advised not to speak with the press during this time as it may impede the search for Audrii or shifted the focus from finding her. Does anyone know, has the father spoke? Has the father spoke on anything since Audrii? I mean, Audrii's mother has quite a bit, and that's, you know, good. But I don't think he's ever spoke, or grandma, right? No, no, I haven't seen anything from that. Me either. Me either. I mean, I know they're going through a lot, but I would have never let. Hey, Stephen. I would have never let this strange man who is not a family member, who you let live on the property. This wasn't, this was someone they invited in their home who had access to go in the home, who they went on vacation with. I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay. Audrii Danielle Cunningham will be missed, but hopefully not forgotten, as we would like to ask legislatures and law enforcement, both locally and in Washington, D.C., to look at the loophole that prevented us from knowing what Don McDougal was. A convicted S offender. The S offender registry is a valuable tool that parents and grandparents everywhere use to keep their children safe from the violent predators. This failing of the system is a crime that we cannot allow go overlooked. There will be a memorial ceremony for the repose of the soul of Audrii Danielle Cunningham at the First Baptist Church in Livingston, Texas on Friday, the 1st of March, 2024, between the hours of 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. And that the public who helped in the effort are invited to attend. Please wear purple, which was Audrey's favorite color. A private funeral ceremony will be held the next day for close friends and family only. Please respect us in our time of grieving as we lay our precious little angel to rest. If you wish to drop off flowers, cash, or check donations in memory of Audrii Danielle Cunningham, please contact Livingston VFW Post 8568 at 936-327-9119. Please make checks payable to VFW 8568 and put in the notes Audrii Cunningham, a Venmo fund, and all of that has been set up to see Audrey's final resting place. Proceeds exceeding funeral expenses will be donated to Audrii Cunningham's name and Audrii Cunningham's names to Texas EquiSearch up to the 2nd of March 2024. Later donations will be expanded to include organizations that protect our children of S predators and organizations that assist these children and their families who experience this kind of senseless violent crime. Again, we would like to thank everyone who was involved in the search for Audrey, and we hope you will do the same for others going forward. God bless y'all, and God bless the children. Yeah. Uh it just, I don't know. I feel I'm very conflicted in a sense, but I'm also not. It's so weird on how I feel about this. Um but I feel like they should have never, ever, ever allowed this man on their property, regardless of whether he was an S offender or not. He was a serial criminal. That's the problem, if you ask me. And So yeah, the funeral expenses has been paid for. I don't know who paid for the funeral, but I do know that it is paid for, and it's uh so I'm not going to I really don't know who paid for it, but God bless whoever did. Um why did they need no, they're not asking for money. They're not asking for money. I want to be fair on this. The family is not asking for money that I'm aware of. They uh that's a good question. If it was already paid for, well, regardless, if it's paid for, the rest is supposed to go to Texas Echo Search. So that's good. So yeah. All right. So now well let's do this real quick. 1 second. I want to show you this article about the system failed us. Audrii Cunningham's father, grandmother released statement following her death. Okay. Sweet little Audrii. I believe this was her 11th birthday. This was 10 days before this little baby died. Am I buffering? Am I buffering? Okay. No. Okay. Thank you. All right. Someone said buffering, so I just want to make sure I wasn't. So they talk about, here's look how beautiful Audrii was, right? And this freaking monster absolutely uh this is they just put the statements there, but this is there's a lot of comments here. And the thing is, no, not on your, okay. Look what the lawyer wrote, that fiction. Show your, there's a lot of mixed reviews. That's why I would recommend you guys coming here and looking. I mean, they're going crazy, crazy in the comments. Who was taking that picture of her? Good question. I felt really bad for Audrii because she was a little girl that her parents, had some struggles. Her dad was gone more than he was home. So she had grandma, and it sounds like a lot of times Stephen McDougal. And I still want, yeah, I still want to know the motivation of why. Why did he do this? Why did he do this? For what? For what? Um, for what? Her parents, hold on, what did it say? Her parents and grandmother let Audrii down. I mean, I think they would, I think that it's I think it's very I think they have to take some ownership, right? They have to take some ownership that they should have never let him. Why couldn't have grandma taken her that morning? You know what I mean? Why couldn't she have taken him that morning? She won't tell. My heart really hurts for the mom too. Really hurts for the mother. Really, really hurts for the mother. So, I want to play Tim or not Tim, uh, Texas Equisearch here on Nancy Grace, and I want to give you guys this is some very, very deep stuff that about things that was found. If you are not uh if you can't listen to this kind of stuff, because they're going to be talking about how where she was found. Okay. Warning: the following content is for mature audiences. It may be offensive or distressing for some viewers. This channel is a commentary channel related to true crime pertaining to real life events. Each true crime story discussed on this channel has been researched from a number of various sources, including FOIA requests, articles, news, interviews, and more. Links may be provided in the description of various sources. Let us all remember the real human element to each individual. All right. So without further ado, we're going to listen to Tim Coop, and you can find Nancy Grace's link in the description for this entire full podcast of hers. All right. Let me find it.
Legislation. Let me guess, it's going to be called Audrii's Law.
Yep, unfortunately.
That's great. Leave one. That makes me think it could have been her. If you haven't gone fishing, you are. Okay, tell me what happened to you.
Well, I started sonar in that area, and of course the river was high, the current was strong, and it's like, oh my God, is she going to wash away or what? Sunday, I got what I thought was.
Well, what did you see that made you know it was Audrii?
Well, on Sunday when I sonar, I didn't know if it was Audrii. The conditions were the worst you could ever imagine with sonar. So I went back to the same exact spot, and the image I got, I couldn't get it again. I couldn't get it again. I literally went through that area more than 80 times.
So he went through this area more than 80 times in order to search for little Audrii. Now, when it's the water is choppy, it is a nightmare for sonar. So they did eventually end up not draining, but lowering the river with the dam. Thank God that was an option. I mean, think about if there wasn't a dam where they could do that with. Audrii may have never ever have been found.
And then I got another image, and I said, oh my God. I said I could make out legs and arms.
Now, hold on, Tim Miller. You know we don't say OMG on CES Crime Stories. But go ahead.
So,
what did it look like, Tim Miller? How could you tell that it was a child versus something else?
No, I could make out the body. So I went, but it wasn't as clear because of the currents, because of where it was. It was difficult at best, so that I kept sonar and sonar. And then Monday I sonared again and got.
Tim, what went through your mind when you spotted?
So the night before they, or Tim, he thought for sure that that was Audrii. He said he could make out the weights and stuff. And they, after 80 times of going through it, so the next day is when they tried to recover her.
For that, you must have just
I
been
knew it was.
sick to your
I
stomach.
knew it was her, but I couldn't repeat it. And it's like, how come if there's something there, it's got to stay there. And so I got with the divers on Monday and the Texas Rangers. I showed them the image of
Did you go down yourself?
no, I didn't dive it. I don't even take a bath, but I'm pretty good at sonar. But
Let me ask you a question. So you guys are diving in.
I love how Tim is so down to earth. He is so just down to earth. He doesn't care about anything other than finding the missing. That is all he cares about. He doesn't care about the cameras, the glitz, none of that. He gives no craps about that. He cares about finding the victims, and the record of them finding is amazing. I wholeheartedly believe if they don't miss, in my opinion, like if they're going to make sure that wherever they're searching is going to be cleared.
Fast current in the river, correct?
Well, on Monday when I showed them the image and we all got together, they said, "Oh my God, I think you're right. I think it's a body. We have to dive on it." Well, the currents were so strong and the river was high that they could never get to that image. So then they decided to shut the dam.
That's hard, man. I've done dives in fast currents in rivers, and it's not like on TV. It's really hard to do that, much less to get. Was she all the way down at the bottom because of the rock?
He was tied off to that rope.
She was tied.
So it's going to get kind of distressing from here on out, like really distressing. So I want to just tell you guys again, when you're doing sonar and there's remains and they're usually anchored down, like a weight is wrapped around them normally. But he kept going over this and it kept moving. It kept moving. And Stephen McDougal had a rock, and then he had Audrii tethered to the rock. And they're going to explain more here shortly. I don't know if anyone else would have found her other than Texas Equisearch. I really don't. God bless him.
Tied onto the rope, and at the other end of the rope was a rock.
Yeah, and so then her body was
Or was the rock on her body and tied to her body?
No, it's on a rope.
Okay, question.
Go ahead.
So the body, Audrii's body, was not on the bottom of the river, on the riverbed. The rock was on the riverbed, and she was in the water.
She was in the water. And so she was just swirling and swirling in there, and that's why I could never pick that same image up at the same exact spot. But I'm going to tell you the best thing he did, Nancy. The best thing he did was tie her off and weight her down, because if he wouldn't have done that and she would have floated, that current going 4 miles an hour, in 24 hours, she would have been 96 miles away.
So it's actually a blessing in disguise. No. No, Jackie. The rock was at the bottom of the river, right? He tied a rope around that rock, and the rope, went out, and then he tied Audrii to the other side of the rope. So if he hadn't have done that, he said the water was going 4 miles per hour. I know, Angel. I know. She would have been almost 100 miles in 24 hours. 96 miles. In 24 hours, she could have been downstream, and she would have probably never been found. Yes, she was tethered. Yes. Yes, Tar Heel. Yep. Sick, man.
So the
Just like Natalie Holloway. They'd never find her.
the best thing he did for the search efforts was to go ahead and wait her down. Otherwise, again, in that current, and just think if she would have popped up at night when nobody was there, and in 12 hours, she would have been 50 miles away. So, it was a blessing in disguise. So, yeah, when I got that image again, they dove on Monday. They could not even get to it because of the currents. They decided to shut the dam, let the water go down. And the next day, when I got in there, they found her.
Tim, what do you mean when you say she was swirling and swirling?
Well, if you can imagine in a current, and there's a big swale there, it's between the Railroad Bridge and 59 South Bridge, which is close together. So the water coming around them pilings and stuff just created a huge eddy. So she was down there just basically almost going in circles and moving around and that's why it was so hard to get her at the very same location, because when a body's at the bottom, it's going to stay at the bottom until it starts gassing up, and then it'll start moving. So I would go back to the same exact spot, and she wasn't there. I'd go again and then get it located in another area, and she was just moving. She was just moving around, and I anticipate if she wouldn't have been found, of course, she would have never floated. And as bad as it sounds, the fish life and turtles and stuff would have,
Yeah. If she would have never been found, like she would have never, because she was tied, she would have never ever floated because she was tethered. She would have never been found ever. And she would have just slowly decomposed like that. So it was nothing short of a miracle that he found her. Stephen McDougall, you are reprehensible. You are evil, vile. How do you do this? And this is your second victim that we know of. I have also heard that more people are coming out now that they know he is in jail and he's not getting out. God only knows. Also, I think that guy that he posted not too long ago, a year or two ago, that went missing. needs to be very close looked at. They need to check where Stephen was around the time that guy went missing, because I guarantee that you just don't do this at his age. You just don't start at his age. This is someone that has been in trouble since he can remember. There's probably going to be so many that come out. The other victim has spoken. Renee says, I have a feeling we're going to see more people come out who said they were befriended because he wanted to get closer to their children. Oh, God, that gives me chills. Oh, that may be why he befriended the family. Absolutely. Thank you, Candy. I pray that he will definitely. They are charging him with capital. Michelle, there was a guy that he posted on his Facebook. It was a guy that was missing of a crime or something. I'll find it and show you guys. But they need. Yeah, he was constantly, exactly, Rickson. He was constantly messaging people, asking them for sex and swingers groups, all of that. So God only knows how many victims this sick bastard has.
She would have just ate that body and she would have been found. So it was huge effort with everybody. And you know what, Nancy? God just put us in the right place at the right time.
Tim, not everyone knows that you lost your daughter. So when you get a case like this,
Oh crap, sorry.
what does it mean to you?
I was muted. Sorry. I'm bad about that. So I was saying, I think where was that comment? She was saying that she, that when he was trying to lure the mom down there to poor Audrii as a guardian angel, trying to tell her not to come. And I was saying that, sorry, I was muted, that I really believe Stephen was trying to set Audrii's mother up, making it seem like, oh, if I can't have my daughter, no one can. And he was trying to set it up, in my opinion, to make it look like an unaliving S aside, right? I think he was doing what he could to make that happen, because we know Stephen has a history of getting people out in the middle of nowhere and then taking advantage of them in any way he can. whether it's, taking advantage of someone sexually, or if it is trying to steal their car and beating the hell out of them. You know what I mean? So, thank you so much, Fusions. Thank you, Justin, for all that you do. Sending lots of loves to you and your family. Thank you for including me in your group. Of course. Thank you, Fusions. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, my dear. It's very kind of you. Very generous. We are family on this channel. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Sweet Fusions, once again. Very generous of you. But I believe Stephen would have had another victim. And if he's capable of doing this to an 11-year-old at the age that he did this, how many more? I am certain that there has to be more victims. Absolutely certain.
That you found Audrii. You're the one that spotted her on sonar.
Well, you may get me a little bit choked up right now. But when I got home, I said, Laura, thank you. Just thank you.
That's
because
right.
if you were still alive, I wouldn't be doing this.
Were you there?
I said, thank you, Laura, because of the image and what we got. That's why the divers were there. And again, I'm not saying this to pat myself in the back. There's no ego involved in it. Again, I've just been blessed by God with what He's given.
He is so humble. He is such a humble guy.
Me and I'm pretty good at that sonar. I'm not an expert. But
Tim, you don't have to pat your own back. If it had not been for you spotting her on the sonar, she could have come loose from that rope and she would have been gone. Like you said, in 12 hours, she'd be 50 miles away.
Yeah.
And we would never have the answer to what happened to Audrii Cunningham. And this savage, this brute.
Exactly. Miracle, he lost his daughter and found someone else's. He finds someone else's daughter, son, niece, nephew, grandchild, aunt, uncle all the time. And in the midst of the tragedy, at least the families has a place to go bury their loved one and have some answers that are resolved.
Would walk free to attack another child. And you know another thing, Tim? We know of these two little girls, 110, 111, very similar in physicality. We don't know how many others are out there because you and I know, Tim.
Has EquiSearch ever looked for Summer Wells? Yes, they have. They absolutely have. And if Ronnie Lawson would allow them, invite them, be more, have a little more hospitality, they charge nothing. We donate to them. They charge nothing. Hawkins County is broke as a joke. Ronnie Lawson, I'm going to tangent here. I'm sorry, but I just saw that comment and I'm going to talk about it. Ronnie Lawson is begging for money all the time. EquiSearch has the best track record that there is out there. And this is all that they do. They search. This is their specialty. And they don't charge you a dime, not a red cent. Get your pride to the side, Ronnie Lawson, and let them search for this girl. They have an incredible track record, history. They're professional. They don't leak stuff. That's not who these people are. And that's why I know that Summer Wells is not around 110 Ben Hill Road. She's not in that area. Or at least she wasn't whenever EquiSearch searched for her. And as someone said, one of the searchers of EquiSearch said, we saturated the piss out of that area. Looked and looked and looked over it again and looked over it again and again and again. I've never seen a place like Hawkins County in my entire life. And I think it's not the, I think it starts at the head. And that is, there's two people that I have more questions than anyone. And one is Ronnie Lawson, and the other one is the prosecutor there.
Miller, that only one out of, say, 8 or 9 sex assault victims come forward, and that is a conservative figure. You are hearing Tim Miller, my friend, my longtime colleague, who runs Texas EquiSearch. Everybody on the panel, jump in. We got a lot to get through. First of all, to Joe Scott Morgan, renowned professor of forensics, joining us out of Jacksonville State University, author of Blood Beneath My Feet, book on Amazon, and star of a hit series, Body Bags with Joe Scott Morgan. Joe Scott, right now, we don't have a COD, cause of death. She's still at the Harris County morgue. How did that?
We work cases and they arrive at the morgue. We want all of the elements present so that we can fully appreciate, how, for instance, with her, how was she secured? You think about the forensics of knot tying.
Plus, Joe Scott, what about potential DNA on the inside of those knots?
Yeah, and that's quite interesting, depending upon how long she had been in there, and not so much she, but those knots. Were there any protected spaces in there? Right now, my gut would say no, but Nancy, there's a saving grace here. And Tim had brought this up, and this is the beauty of this. You used the term savage. That was kind. That article of clothing that was left on the shore.
So, the article of clothing, there was an article of clothing that was, or at least one article of clothing that was left on the side of the bank of the river. What does that indicate to you? Right. You're thinking what I'm thinking. And this poor little girl. I hope, or before Ginger Snaps, or before, that they can find his DNA somewhere on her. It's highly unlikely, though, because she was in the water for days. But if they can find DNA on her, in her, or on her clothes on the bank, that will be so vital for this case. cold water, yes, it does. It's very cold water. That is one thing. It does help, but just the amount of time, I don't I'm not sure if I hope that they can find something. Yeah, Mr. Cowboy. DNA would seal the case, but they have to cell phone records. He's done for. Mhm. I absolutely think that he had been assaulting her for much longer. Much longer than we would ever like to guess. I'm going to fast forward this, so give me a second. A little bit.
There.
Yeah, can I break in real quick?
Please.
Actually, with the Texas Rangers yesterday and stuff, and doing affidavit and giving all the pictures and stuff for the trial. And one of the things that we talked about is, thank God that water was as cold as it was, because if he sexually assaulted her, there was possibly going to be able to get semen from her.
Good point. Okay, Joe Scott, I hate to treat you like a computer, but that's more data that has been input into that brain of yours. Now spit it.
Now, I'm not sure, it just depends on her condition. It depends if they can find, any DNA. Let's pray to God that they can.
It out as best as you can.
Previously mentioned. And if that's the
I don't
case,
see it right there. I would think that he would attack her and sex assault her in the car or in some covered area, not in the open area along the river bank.
right. Yeah, but I
That's
think
a very wide open area there.
at this point, I don't.
Now, one of the locals that is there, she said that there would be nobody that would have been around in that area early in the morning. Nobody. Because that's the old road and they built the highway right next to it.
I don't think that anything can be discounted, though. We don't even have the
Yes,
cause.
you're right. But tell me what we do know.
Well,
what
what
we will get from that body.
yeah, well,
I can tell you this right now. When you
Yeah.
don't know a horse, look at his track
Mhm.
record. He tried to say.
Amen, Nancy. Amen. Listen. These people, listen, when it comes to people who do violent crimes for decades, especially, particularly S crimes, they do not change. They cannot, they will not change. That is the reason we have the offender list. That is the reason. They will not change. And look at their history. If you ever have to rent out a room to a roommate and, the economy's getting, it's crap. And I know a lot of people struggle right now. But for God's sakes, if you need a background search or something, find someone to do your homework on these people. Don't allow anyone in your home. I think several of the last cases that we have covered, it's always either, you know, a boyfriend, to the woman, or someone living on the property, or someone they've allowed in their home. Don't live with the devil. Don't live with the devil. Please don't. And that is great point. Call the sheriff's department. They will tell you if the person is safe to be around children. They will absolutely talk to them. Don't trust anybody, especially around your kids. Florida Amber Alert.
Sex assault, the other little girl.
Have success with a rape kit. If he ejaculated at the
Is that because she, we believe, had been raped?
fingernails, that's kind of a long shot, but that's what I would be thinking as well.
Joe Scott, why
If there's DNA under the fingernails.
don't we have a COD yet?
I think that they're taking their time with it. One of the things I thought about, and this is way off topic. I'm really, and they have to consider this. I wonder if she was placed in there alive. I don't know that, and they're trying to make a determination as to whether or not perhaps she had taken on water in life, and they would find evidence of that in her lungs. Also, there's a test that we do in the inner ear at autopsy that we check for drowning. I think that part of that is
Sorry, I'm muted again. I'm so good at that. So good at that. All right, let me send this. Let me show you guys this Amber Alert. Here's the Amber Alert. Um, did anybody? Someone just emailed me this. I wanted to show this real quick. I have heard this. She wrote, meaning Audrii, letters to her teachers asking for help. 3 CPS cases were open and closed. CPS failed her. This town is near me. If that is true, I know, princess. If that is true, oh God. I just can't imagine. I can't imagine that. You know, would that mean, does the parent, did the parents know? Did the dad know? Or was she scared to say that to them? All right. Amber Alert. Christian Seamus, 225-24, 7 years old, male, black male, Riviera Beach, Florida, Palm Beach. Abductor, Gene Simus. Looks like, I'm assuming, the dad, 44 years old, 5'8", 135 pounds, black male. A Florida Amber Alert has been issued for Christian Seamus, last seen in the area of the 1200th block of West 3rd Street in Riviera Beach, Florida, who was last seen wearing a gray shirt, gray shorts, and red Spider-Man shoes. The child may be in the company of Gene Seamus. They may be traveling in a 2019 black BMW 440i Grand Coupe, Georgia tag number T as in Tom, B as in Barry, Z as in Zach, 4664. TBZ 4664. The vehicle has tinted windows. So there's a lot of Amber Alerts with, parents. I couldn't find. Oh, wow. Yep. Yep, Nani. Yep. I am too honest for this. 95 and A1A be on alert. So very, very sad. Very, very sad. Um sorry, crap. What did I do? Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's going to end this one here. Sorry, some of y'all are behind and you write mute, and I think I muted again. Hello, Connie, my flippin' life. Justin, you never say hello anymore. Hello, Connie. Sorry. It's never personal. I promise you. It's if you say hello and I don't get to say hello, it's never personal. I promise. Before I was a creator, I'd be like, they never say hello to me. Now I get it because it's impossible, unfortunately. Hello, Heather Mack. Hello. Lisa, my email is this right here. Mimi of to four, I know. Mother, I saw that, Tar Heel. I saw that. Yeah, there's been a lot of things going in Mississippi and Alabama lately as well. If she wrote the teachers reported, I guarantee. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, guys, I will be back at 8 p.m. Yes, I'm coming back here in a little bit. I'll be back at 8 p.m. about an hour and a half from now. We are going to be talking, or we're going over some body cam footage. And this is body cam footage from Tennessee. A guy who pew-pewed two officers. One did not make it. It's very graphic. Just want to let you know. So join 5 p.m. wherever you are, KRN, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 California time-ish, West Coast. Justin, I am late. Any updates on Elijah? Nothing major. They're searching everywhere. Everywhere. They're searching. I give you that. So, all right, guys. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in just a little bit. I want to thank Dispatch Crystal, Quinny, Amy in Boston, Virginia Girl, Candy Prim, Fusions, Radio Gods. Thank you all so very much. Thank you, Radio Gods. I just saw that. Thank you. Appreciate you guys so very much. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.